Boom! Chat. Hello! Welcome to some more Star Citizen streamy stuff with me sitting on my ass, just chatting about Star Citizen.
Stuff. Keep it up, this real love.
Oh, thank you very much, Serendy. I need to organise chatting to you. Oh, it's been an eventful few days. Mainly me not being able to sleep. I have the worst insomnia in the world at the moment. And it's really inconvenient as well. As in, I know insomnia is inconvenient anyway. I slept 2 hours last night / today. I was trying to go to bed at like 3:30 AM. Just lied in bed and was like, this is shit. So I watched some videos and I wrote some scripts and stuff up. Got some ideas down. But I was pretty sluggish. And then it was about 9 AM in the morning and I was like, oh, I still can't sleep. I'll have a cup of coffee and try and get up and do some work. So I had a cup of coffee and lied back down. And boom! Out like a light for 2 hours. So as soon as I decide that I'm getting up, that is when I fall asleep. It's the story of my sex life too. No. So that's just, I'm a bit sluggish today. And so bear that in mind. Be on for a while. What I want to do this week is get into the rhythm of doing some slightly different content and test some bits and bobs. So one of the things I want to do is a Star Citizen Shorts series. So it identifies a topic and explains it as quickly as possible. So for example, there'd be one on server populations. So it would talk very quickly about server meshing, object container streaming, and the optimizations that are key for that. And then all we know sort of like about that very quickly, bam, 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 done. This is what it does, this is what it's for. Server meshing isn't needed for Squadron 42, but server-side object container streaming is needed. Things like that, bam, 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 just talk about it all in brief. Oh, this technology allows for more clients to be on a server on a persistent universe and stuff like that as well. So the idea is to answer people's questions that search on YouTube for a particular answer. So it's trying to identify those for content purposes and for money-making purposes, I suppose, the most frequently asked questions that I can then try to answer as concisely as possible, but it's also useful for other people as well, not just people that are just searching for those terms. It's informative in some way. That's the idea, so that's an additional type of video that I'm doing on my channel, and that allows me to, because this weekend, I'm going on holiday effectively. I say on holiday effectively, I'm doing a kit fest. A kit fest is where we go around my mate Kit's house. You've probably occasionally heard and seen on the channel. She is Kit AI in some of my gameplay videos where I go, Kit, yes, tell me something about Star Citizen, and she'll pretend she knows about Star Citizen while we play. Although, very soon she will actually be playing Star Citizen with me properly. So we all go around her house and we play board games and console games and that sort of stuff, and we might stream. At the moment I'm actually trying to grab equipment so I can run around events with like a mounted camera on, or a slightly more professional camera setup in some way for events and for board game streaming and going to private lands, because I do little private lands where we go to like centre parks or rent a house for a week or whatever, and we do a little private LAN party there with just a few of us, and we get drunk and eat delicious food that we all cook. So, but I'm doing that next weekend, and it's going to be a long weekend from Friday to Monday. So the idea is with this little short series is that I can produce 2 or 3 of them every day, and then release some of those while I'm away.
So I decided to use this.
Thank you very much for the love, appreciated. Nubsly for the hosted Mabob. I love you. It's appreciated. But yeah, if you want to ask a question about anything, whether it was about me, my channel, how I shave my head to make myself look like a beautiful egg, whatever, just question in front of a question. It makes it much more easy for me to pick it up.
Beautiful.
Don't worry, Bored, if you die, we'll make sure CIG puts a big golden statue of you in game. Appreciated. No, I'm not coming to Paris with you next weekend, Nubsly. I'm going to my mate Kit's house. I'm sorry. Gonna play computer games there, and board games. And we might do like a zero latency. We're discussing it. like virtual reality experience. It's probably not going to be as good as the VR we've got already. But yeah. What we've got any questions yet? Anything? We'll have a bit of a chat about, well, whatever people ask questions about. What? Click, click, click. Oh, yes, this is my keyboard. It's my keyboard clicking while I was messing around. Should I melt my entire fleet to get the game pack that comes with the Idris M? I'd use about $2,000 in CCUs and a few rare ships, but the Idris M seems like it's going to be the premiership. I would expect you both to buy one in game by selling those ships. So I think you're probably, in my opinion, better off keeping what you've got. That'd be my suggestion. That's what I would do. I can't pronounce your name. Hunadu. Yes, the Idris M is going to be rare, and it's going to be pretty strong because it's the military Idris. But I don't think it's going to be the best of the best of the best. There's going to be like the Javelin. Javelin's going to be pretty strong. Just the Idris P, upgrading it, it's going to be pretty strong. I mean, you'll have to put the railgun on it. It's up to you though. A lot of money to do something on games as well. I'd keep what you've got, in my opinion, and just get everything else in game. I see people do titanium, but isn't laranite a better commodity? So there's certain areas have different materials for asteroids. So basically, when you're looking for asteroids, sometimes it's better to go for a worse commodity just because it's there, or because it's a high percentage in the rock. Laranite is good, but it costs so much to fill your bay. You get lower risk from titanium. Yeah, that's one of the things. It's to do with speed of getting it and stuff like that. I could do an updated mining guide on it, but it's, if you're mining, you come to understand mining pretty quickly, what makes you money. And the idea is the economy is supposed to be dynamic as well at some point. Oh my god, I will buy a safety hat so I can do Safety Boy in stream. No worries, I'll do that in a minute. Any news on persistence and when it's coming? If you're talking about full persistence, they're trying to get that in this year. So probably more towards the end of the year, something that they're likely to show at Citizencon in my expectation. So yeah, it could be 3.7, it could be 3.8. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, full persistence, for those that don't know, is core for Star Citizen. It's one of its major pillars. It allows the saving of items, of their locations. So you could pick up a cup, and you could place it in a forest, and fuck off, and come back, and if no one else has picked up that cup, or the cup hasn't been shot or exploded, or otherwise degraded for some reason, then it will be there still, even if you come back in a week's time. Now, full persistence is needed for a lot of different systems. It is needed, really, for server-side object container streaming. It's needed for server meshing. It's needed for, because they need to save states of areas. This is why it's needed. It's needed for persistent habs and hangars in game. Anything that persists in game that's going to have customization to it really needs these. So that's it's actually a really, really important thing. What quality of life improvement are you most looking forward to in 2019? Flight model. New flight model. ESP not being trash. Combat. It's spaceship combat as a life improvement. It's so important getting the flight model right for Star Citizen. And we've had some golden moments. Sort of like, was it around the 2.6, 2.6.3 era? That was reasonably good for combat. I quite enjoyed that, at least. And then since 3.0, we've had kind of a bad time when it's come to flight model and combat and ESP. And ESP currently is trash, and that's being very, very, very nice and optimistic about it. It's terrible, ESP at the moment. It's sort of like shaking you all over the place. I forgot to turn it off in my latest video when I was playing with synchronizers. And when I was fighting another fighter, my yes, it was just shaking my aim everywhere. It's like, well, this isn't fun. But the new flight model is something I'm really excited about. Probably the thing I'm excited about most this year. So full persistence is different from sort of like current persistence in game. So currently in game we have persistent spawn locations. So what I mean by that is if you travel to Port Olisar, if you travel to Grimhex, you'll spawn there when you next respawn. You will also have the ability to log out in beds and log back in, and changes to your ship persist, and your Alpha UEC and equipment that you purchased persist. But that's about it. Full persistence is a lot more than that. This is sort of like, at the moment we have some data persisting, but we don't have all of the mission reputation systems persisting and stuff like that either. And that's super important, actually having progression in those missions. And hopefully, once we have full persistence, there'll be less need to have constant resets every 3 months. And as soon as they start to say, well, we're going to have resets still, that's just, you're going to have to deal with that. But it's going to be less regularly than confirmed every 3 months. Then there's a lot more reasons to play. In my opinion, anyway. Second question, I know Star Citizen is an alpha, but when can we keep our upgrades? Potentially when full persistence is on. Potentially. I mean, it's just to do with their server resets, and you're going to have server resets for the next few years. So bear that in mind. For at least the next 2, I suspect there will be server resets at just certain points, even if they have the ability to not really need them so much, because they'll update something, or they'll go, well, the game's now released-ish, or in beta, we need to wipe the server so everyone's on a level pegging to start. How do you shave your head? King Kongo, I just let it fall out naturally. I do have a little razor, little beard trimmer, which I occasionally will go over the sides of my head around here. Occasionally I look like a monk, just with the centre bits. There used to be a beautiful mohawk here, and now it's just barren. Do you use turtle wax to get the sheen? No, the sheen is natural. My skin exudes just a natural high-level sheen. How do you solve green screen issues? Do I currently have green screen issues? Oh, look. Okay, I'll actually show you now. So, let me go edit. I'm going to sneeze. So the shyness of my head sometimes creates that beautiful orb. So I'm going to reduce my white balance, which will wash me out slightly. But with the lower white balance, typically the greeniness is the blah, blah, blah. There you go. I hope I answered your question. Oh my god. Look, I'm tired. I said I was tired. What is the ship you're most excited about arriving in 2019? 890 Jump or Carrick? It's sort of like a toss-up between those two. I've got an 890 Jump and I've got a Carrick, so... Am I related to Paul Giamatti? I don't know who that is. Should I? I don't believe so. Well, only as related as probably as you are. Is that a good thing to say or not? I don't know. Can you please sum up what you know about ship naming? Do you think they'll sell naming packs or naming tokens for owned ships? I think we'll just be able to name our ships in-game at a nominal cost. But I don't think people will be able to name the same series of ship the same thing. So it'll be first come, first served with ship names, which is why they had a ship naming token sold with was it the 600 series? With one of the ships. Potentially with the 300 series rework and the customization options they're providing for 3.5's release, you might be able to pre-name your 300 series as one of the things you can customize on it before buying it. But we'll have to wait and see. But from what I'm aware of ship naming, the plan is to allow you to name your ships. And it will be one of the things that you can scan for. So one of the sort of like exposed data things will be ship name, ship type, owner's name, and then potentially you could scan to see who's piloting and things like that as well. Where/when will we first hear about 2019 Citizencon and details? If it's in the UK, I want to get in there quick to get tickets. Would be first one I go to. Craig, I suspect almost certainly it will be in the UK this year. One of the things that tells me that, probably, is that there doesn't seem to be any indication of a Britizencon this year, which I helped start originally back in the day, and we said we wouldn't run one for a Britizencon if Citizencon was in the UK. So I suspect they've been told not to run one this year, or there's one running, Citizencon running. So I almost 100% Citizencon in the UK. Please do not hold me to that if that is incorrect. I expect it will be in Manchester or Winslow or around that area. Although they could make it more centralised potentially, but almost certainly Manchester. But as soon as I know more about Citizencon, I will give you the infos. I suspect you'll find out first from CIG though, as you will with most things. As of now, the game's pretty optimised, so you shouldn't have a problem with this spec, Sam. I didn't actually see what that was. Apologies. How's it going? It's going alright. I'm really fucking tired, so I'm going to be a bit slow. Once I've done with the stream, I'm going to buy a hard hat to fit my giant head. And then I am going to finish off some of these sort of like quick little videos. Oh, there's some projects I'm working on as well if people are interested. And if you are interested, come onto my discord.gg/BoredGamer. So I'm going to be running look at running a Star Citizen wiki and Squadron 42 wiki. And I want to include other stuff on there that's not just the basic wiki things you'd have. So I want to have like an FAQ on there, I want to have lots of things, and I'll explain in more detail, but it's going to be the verse.wiki for people that are interested. And if you're interested in helping me run and moderate that, please come onto my Discord, because that would be great. I'm going to allow anyone to add information to that wiki, but all information will be moderated. And then trusted posters will just have free reign to add and tweak stuff. But that's the way I think I'm going to do it. It might fall flat on its arse, and I'll be like, writing a wiki was harder than I thought. But I keep quite extensive notes, and looking through all that information regularly and making sure it's accurate is something I can very much do. And that also enables me to keep on top with the sort of like informations. I don't know what's going on with my hands. My hands have gone mad! I'm also expanding in general with BoredGamer stuff, so I'm looking for more mods for Facebook, Reddit, Discord, the streams on Twitch and YouTube's and the channel in general, because I want to get much more into playing the game and live streaming during the days. Zin's going to be working for me soon, so that's another full-time employee, which should mean I can get double the amount of work done, if not more, during the week. So, do you know if the max issues are target to get fixed with the upcoming hotfix patch this week? So hotfixes, from a Star Citizen point of view, are typically server-side changes they can do all the time, whereas a new patch, such as a 3.4.2 patch, which I do expect that we might have this week or next week, that would be not a hotfix, even if it is traditionally hotfixes. Do you see what I mean? Terminologies. Yes, I suspect that a lot of those little niggling issues will get sorted. Can you talk about the new Vanguard? Yeah, so the Vanguard's getting a rework. The internal center modules, they're all being changed to be more useful and sensible. I think they're getting a bit more space in them. They're going to use the space more sensibly. The ramps are all getting changed to the Hoplites ramp, so you've got a larger ramp there. Expect much better things from the Vanguard. It's one of my favourite ships in the game, and they said they identified that they needed to have it changed. So, when do you think bombers are going to become a viable option for use in game? That is a very good question. I mean, they're sort of semi-viable now, as long as you have an organised fleet battle. I mean, the Eclipse It's pretty useful against like hammerheads and things. So really we just need deeper gameplay and persistence and stuff to make them much more worthwhile. So I mean they're useful in game, just you wouldn't use them really in a dogfight, and you wouldn't really use them in any of the missions, because I suppose what they need to do is they need to add some missions where we're fighting hammerheads and things, don't they? That we need to get some like missions where like 3 or 4 hammerheads show up, and we need to bring a full party. So, and they probably do that reasonably soon. I expect seeing stuff like that this year. ESP not trash. I mean, it is trash. ESP is currently trash. What's my favourite pasta dish? I always try solid carbonaras from the past places I go to start with, the Italians. I do like a good carbonara, proper carbonara. Was there an update to the roadmap? The latest update was the 21st of December, 23rd, 21st. We're expecting a roadmap update this Friday. Is there a hotfix this week for sure? Not for sure, but probably. And yeah, I would expect a 3.4.2 patch this week. Do you feel comfortable in sharing any thoughts or updates on Brexit? I'm pretty Brexit neutral. I thought it was a terrible idea to vote on something where there was no plans for either side. I mean, it's all hindsight-based stuff, but like, if you're going to have this sort of like vote where stay in Europe or not, or leave Europe or whatever, then you should have plans for both. You say, the reason we're staying in is bam, 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 and this is how we're going to implement it if we decide to stay. And these are the plans for leaving, bam, 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 and this is the government's plan on what we do if we leave. If we leave, if we stay, if we leave, stay. Bam, plans. Boom. We've got a plan for both, so don't worry. Not, well, let's decide what we're doing and then muddle through. How close is your association to the devs? As close as everyone else is here. I mean, I've got friends that are devs. Typically, like, I'm pretty good friends with Cameron and stuff. There is a very much spoken word. We talk to each other regularly, but I will never ask him, nor will he ever give me any inside information. It's just, I wouldn't be able to share it, even, would I? The only additional information really I have that you guys might not is I get to go on, and anyone else would if they contact them at the right time, get to go on studio tours. The UK studio is, I believe, the best for that. I ask a lot of questions when I'm there, like fucking tons. I have a big diary of things, and I sort of like get about 10% of those questions ready to ask them when I go there, based on things I want to know, and typically they get told to me. But again, most of those are under NDA. However, if I get like an interview specifically with like Aaron Roberts or whoever, then those can be made public. So I make sure I ask some of those bits in those interviews. But most of my knowledge comes from just reading everything that's available and watching as many videos as possible and all that sort of stuff. Do you think the new flight model going to cause lots of balancing issues, as some ships are going to have a different way of flying them? I hope they don't scrap 6 degrees of movement on human ships. No, there's still going to be 6 degrees of movement. It's just going to be a bit different. And when you're in high-speed combat, 6 degrees is... you're going to have to think about the actual coupled movement, really, more for speed and that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's going to cause huge balancing issues with loads of ships. Everything needs to be rebalanced, all weapons need to be rebalanced, the ship health needs to be rebalanced, all of it, which is one of the reasons I wanted the new flight model for a while, because combat has not been great for me. Yeah, so hopefully the new flight model will be pretty solid in its first implementation. They've had an additional 3 months to work on it, because it was supposed to be coming with 3.4, and obviously got pushed to 3.5. Any news on when we'll see the updated roadmap for the second half of the year? I'm hoping we start to see more from this Friday, but more likely it's probably going to be the end of next week. BoredGamer, with as long as it's taking to flesh out the solar system in game now, when do you see them branching out to further systems? I expect we'll see more systems this year, at least being shown to us. We might see like traveling to a different system in Citizencon sort of stuff. I've done a few videos on this now, but I will address it again at some point as a very quick sort of like one of the more Star Citizen Shorts sort of episodes about building out procedural tech and whatever, because they could make 20 systems this week that don't have hero landing zones and that sort of stuff. They could just procedure generate them. But what they're trying to do is get all these different biomes done, all these very high quality procedural additional modules for each of the missions and that sort of stuff. So there's a lot more variety, and then when they start producing the systems that are alien systems or systems that don't have landing zones on, they can produce loads of them very easily. And then when it comes to the procedural city planets and landing areas, a lot of that can actually be done procedurally as well. And the only thing they really need to actually work on will be, well, potentially roads and tram systems and stuff, but it's the hero assets. So like specific statues, specific buildings, burst and dynamics building, very specific unique items, specialist textures that aren't just variants of stuff. And with that, you can actually see that, oh yeah, once they have all of the biomes and stuff built out, then they can just literally chuck a load, I had to choose my words carefully there, a load of systems into the game pretty quickly. Do you know or suspect when they might have the next ship sale? Much love from Norway. Mid-February would be my expectation. Mid-February and then end of March and then every 6 weeks. Bam. Have you heard anything about the next iteration of trading, that being having to load, offload boxes and prices shifting with stock of goods at facilities and... Okay, so, yeah, we don't know is the issue with that. They were, last time we talked about cargo and what they wanted to do with ships, they were still discussing it. So, we do not know how much it's gonna be, let me phrase this in a way. So when you've got a cargo ship, you land at a port or you dock to the side of a station, you want to get your cargo off there, sell it. So we're not sure if that's just going to instantly teleport, we're not sure if it's going to have to be loaded and unloaded by NPCs or by players or by cost and take a certain amount of time to unload and offload and load and all that sort of stuff. We just don't know yet. They've talked about all of the potential possibilities and they said, we'll do one of them. Basically, so we'll have to wait and see. I suspect they will implement some light sort of like time and movement mechanics for cargo when it comes to loading cargo ships, but nothing too heavy, nothing like it's going to be 4 hours before your cargo ship is fully loaded. I suspect like maybe 10-15 minutes, and most of it will happen behind the scenes sort of stuff, but have to wait and see. They are going to go for fun, I believe, over realism. Gameplay and fun trump pretty much everything else. If you have Squadron 42 when the regular game goes live, will you have all the back pay or some perks for completing Squadron 42? Yes, so when you play Squadron 42, even if you've already started a Star Citizen character, once you progress in Squadron 42, that will retroactively add things to your Star Citizen account for that character. Some of that stuff might be little perks, flair, things like that. But also, we do know we're going to have access to different ships from that. So, for example, when you get to a certain point in Squadron 42, you'll have access to purchase or rent or whatever a Lightning, the F8 Lightning. I think it's probably the civilian version, but that sort of stuff. And it might be other military gear. There could be lots of different flair. There could be lots of different items. What do you think about the C2 Hercules Starlifter? Is it a viable cargo ship, or is it too big? Very viable cargo ship. It's supposed to be very good in atmosphere as well. So if you're going to be landing at places like, I'm assuming, Hurston's Lawville will allow for it landing there. It's got larger pads that we don't really use much. So yeah, I'm assuming for planetary and moon stuff, it's going to be one of the best cargo haulers for that.
Oh. My launcher says that I must confirm my account is not a bot. I have done this multiple times and it won't verify. How do I fix this? Go on the website. You've got to go to the website and log on there. Do you think Atlas Games server tech is how Star Citizen will do it? No. It's still got borders with loading. The Star Citizen one is seamless, and it's dynamically spun up and down based on server population of rooms. So literally it looks at a room server meshing, and that object container, which can be a room, it can be the corridor, it can be the whole building, it can be the planet, and it is the planet, the system, ships, individual rooms on ships. So it's all these nested rooms, and then it goes, well, this room has 50 people in it. That's got a server on. This corridor has 5 people in it. Well, the rest of the building only has 10 people in it, so the rest of the building is also handled by a server. And then scale up from that. And then it spins up and down servers based on needs. When you see how much easier it is to run the Cutlass Black solo, along with it being a better combat ship with just a pilot, why does CIG insist on keeping the Valkyrie without cargo? Well, I mean, the price of the Valkyrie will change in game dynamically based on its demand and that sort of stuff as well. So, for me, the Valkyrie is supposed to be a dropship that is great for mission support and allows you to take a load of people there. I do want it to actually have cargo. I do think having a small amount of cargo, just a small area for it, even if it's just 5 SCU or something, would be quite smart. It would be better if it was more, but the idea of the ship is that it's a converted military ship that has a very focused purpose, and that is to bring a squad of 25 people to a planet and a vehicle. That's what it's supposed to do. It's great for mission running, it's great for use on planets and moons, and it's great for supporting those missions, flying around with side gun turrets and all that sort of stuff. The Cutlass can't bring 25 men along. Well, it's certainly not going to be able to once the life support system stuff's online. Do you think I should melt my Xi'an fighter ship in order to purchase a Hornet Wildfire instead and upgrade my 325A to a Retaliator or Constellation using my remaining store credit? I can't really advise you on that because I think that all the stuff will obviously be obtainable in-game, so just go for the one that you think is either the most valuable or the one you want the most at the start. However, I would wait until we have the new flight model and see how the Xi'an ships fly before making that decision. Yeah, 600i War 1 pre-sale was the name reserve, yeah. When will we see Vulkan implementation? What is the current state of Vulkan support? I suspect we'll see Vulkan integration this year because they want to have Squadron 42 feature complete and content complete this year. I will actually add Vulkan support TX12 question mark to my list of Star Citizen shorts to explain what that is. But we don't know what current state Vulkan support is or how much effort it's had put into it. It's been in their minds. We know it's an important optimization buff for them for the game, and they'll almost certainly want it for Squadron 42. So, which upgrade I can use on my ship, and can I compare the characteristics before I sell it? You can go to the ship matrix to have a look. Bam. Bam. Here's the ship matrix link. You can have a look there. You can compare your ships. Why does a fighter cost 20 billion, trillion, trillion UEC, but their average missions are 1,000? Average missions are 1,000 anymore. Hey, missions give you a load more money in 3.4. I think with the resets of every 3 months that the ships are still a bit too expensive, but rentals should be coming soon. So I'm flying a multi-crew ship and an NPC crew. Will I need to tuck all my NPCs into bed before I can safely log off into space? No, I don't believe so. I believe that you just need beds for the human players. the way it was explained to me. Maybe you need them for all a bed free for every NPC, but I think it's just for the human players. And once you have all the human players logged off, then the ship can safely log off in space. How do I report crashes? You can go to the issue council. Obviously, there's the auto submit crash, which will appear. So a lot of the time you don't need to do, but you can look through the issue council to see if it's anything that particular causing it, and upvote or prioritize other bugs and add to ones that are already there. So have a look to see if your particular thing is something that's happening to other people. How do you keep your ship from constantly moving if you're using a mouse? I can't get mine to. With the joystick, when I let go, it says where it is. I don't know what you mean. Your ship wobbling randomly. I don't know why your ship would be wobbling. I play with fixed guns, a locked gimbal, and a locked reticle, so I can't move my reticle around the screen. But you're talking about that, so I don't know what the problem you're having. Sorry. Do you think they'll address some of the problems of freelancers, manned versus right turret? Yeah, I expect we'll get that in the 3.4.2. There's obviously some issues with them. Will the verse wiki include orgs? It could. I was thinking about including an org section properly on my website, because obviously the orgs that I've covered in some way, I'm planning to cover a load more this month and next month, I can have entries for and talk about them. But we could probably have it on the wiki as well. Maybe. I'll discuss that with people that want to help with the wiki. It's probably a good idea. Would you recommend upgrading my C2 for a Carrick, since the Carrick can hold more SCU than the C2? I'm both at the moment, but I can maybe diversify. I prefer the Carrick to the C2. However, the Carrick can't carry a tank, and the C2 can carry 2. So, different sizes of cargo. I also expect the Carrick, I expect the C2 to be better in atmosphere than the Carrick. Will they unnerf the Warden? Yeah, they're rebalancing the Warden and making sure that the Vanguards are viable and have a place. I'm alright, I'm just super tired because I slept for about 2 hours. Literally, as I got up, I didn't sleep at all last night, and as I got up to consider working, I fell asleep. Do you prefer them working on rewards or releasing ships they concepted? They're not mutually exclusive. I'm not sure what rewards are, but do you mean the general features that they've, the stretch goals and the general game? I prefer them just to be doing it all at the same time. I mean, the way that they fund the game is by creating concept ships and having sales, so they can have teams that work on that, and they can have teams that actually implement the game and features. Why have you ignored every question I've asked? It's annoying. Well, anyway, if I was to upgrade, I'm just behind the on the chat. If I were to upgrade my Aurora and I have £20, what should I get next? Upgrade to a Avenger Titan. Just boom, done. BoredGamer, getting to feel the scale of Star Citizen in 3.4. I'm now worried that the world will be way too big and feel empty. Lorville is the biggest city so far and it feels unused. Well, it's because it is unused. Only a small amount of the systems are there. Only 50 players can be on each server at the moment, so it does feel unused. And they're still adding more and more NPCs, so we need a load more NPCs, we need a load more players, we need server meshing, we need full persistence, we need loads more missions and stuff to populate the areas. So yeah, at the moment it definitely does. What patch do you think medical gameplay will be introduced in? So they actually talked about a bit more medical gameplay coming in the first quarter for Squadron 42. So I suspect we might see a little bit in 3.5, but more likely some stuff in 3.6, with like being able to apply medipens probably to other players. I think towards the end of the year they're going to actually allow you to drag people around that are downed. Do you think the Squid will be hard to run? I'm not sure what that means. do you think we may see another Vandal Xperia Mage ship concept this year? No, I don't think so. I mean, there is the Stinger, the heavy fighter. So maybe that's the only one I can imagine them actually having Xperia convert over for human use, because the rest of them are like larger ships or boarding ships and stuff like that. It seems like CIG balances bombers with a really low speed, the Eclipse with a max speed of 980, for example. Do you think the Polaris will be a very slow ship now since it's a bomber? The Polaris is supposed to be very fast, as far as I'm aware, for a Corvette. But everything's going to get rebalanced for the new flight model anyway, in 3.5, and then we'll know a bit more. What do you think of the RTX 2060s? Haven't tested them, haven't looked into them much yet. I will look at them based on price point and stuff. I do recommend, my recommended graphics card for Star Citizen for bang for buck is the 1070. It is a great price at the moment from what I've seen, especially in the UK, and it allows you to play the game up to 1440p at high frame rates. It's great. The 2020 series is super fucking expensive. Do you expect many games like Pool, Poker, Dominoes to come into the PU as time passes? I'm not sure if anytime soon, but I am expecting some physics-based games. And as well as stuff that you'd like, board game simulator, whatever, tabletop simulator, sort of like physics games and cards and things. I'm expecting the Moby will have loads and loads of different game apps. Since 2.6, the Drake Herald has been a ship that, when I fly, it blows up literally 2 to 3 shots from any other ship. I'm beginning to think it's not a bug. What do you think? There's a lot of terrible meta problems in the current 3.4.1 patch, where ships can have 1 billion guns on. Before that, when you're not going super fast in the Herald, it's probably pretty damn weak and would get blown up pretty easily. Obviously, they'd have to hit you. So yeah, it's probably a little bit underpowered at the moment. If CIG offered you a job, would you take it? Think in-game newscaster who has interstellar reach on almost daily basis, your voice, your mo-capped egghead, your reports. Would you? It would have to be a lot of money. And I don't think I would. And even if it was a lot of money, thinking about it, because like I'm pretty erratic as a person, and I really, really desire my own freedom. To do stuff when I want to do it. Like I can take a day off just because I'm feeling depressed or because I'm a bit erratic. And I do suffer from bipolar. I do suffer from a severe anxiety condition, which sometimes affects me. And I don't think that's great for working for other people. It's good for my channel.
Beautiful.
Because I can just fit in content whenever. Helma, thank you. Because I'm hosting you, you need to be #1. Thanks, monkey. Appreciate it. Love your face. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. So no, I don't think I would. I'd always consider any options. However, I want to be mo-capped and I want in-game newscaster. However, like I don't think my channel would just die if I was employed by CIG. This just wouldn't make sense. I mean, from a financial point of view, I wish they had an affiliate program for referrals. I was getting I don't know, $5 a referral or something. Oh my god, that would be good. That's from a pure financial point of view. So we're thinking the Carrick's going to come flyable at the end of this year, or towards the end of this year, 3.7 to 3.8. There's obviously salvage in the pipeline. Yep, hopefully in 3.5. Do you think we'll be able to find a disabled damaged ship and be able to spend time fixing it up to claim it once full persistence is in game? At some point, yes. At some point, you're going to be able to find damaged and disabled ships and repair them. But I don't know when.
Happy 2019. This toward a more comfortable pillow so you'll get lovely sleeps.
Harbinger, thank you very much. I love your face. I still need to put your things at the end of videos. I just remembered. Thank you for reminding me. I love you. I've got new pillows. I've got some like springed pillows. I've got rid of my old pillows. Maybe it's that. Maybe I need to get different pillows. What else have we got? Blah, blah, blah. But I love your face, Harbinger. Mwah. Order question, admittedly, but in 2016 I received a special holiday reward with a Christmas tree with a saber and a Xi'an scout flying around it. Do you know how to qualify to receive a holiday reward? I think you just needed to be playing the game or have spent at least $45 on the game at that time in 2016 for that particular reward. It was a one-off like flare thing. What will the claim time be for ships in the final game, or what do you think it should be? Also, will you have to go pick up your ship at a specific location, or will it spawn there magically? That is a really good fucking question. I don't 100% know. Claim times for ships will be dynamic-ish, so I think it's going to be based on how many other ships you've claimed, how often you've claimed that ship, and is that ship available? And what I mean by that is that there's going to be an economy with stocks of ships, and if you've just lost a Bengal, well, that could take months for them to rebuild it. And there might be a queue that people are buying them from or whatever. So I do expect they will be delivered to a particular location, because otherwise it's going to get complicated, people getting to the location where the ships are. Although, with the huge ships, maybe you do have to go to a specific location, like a shipyard or whatever, to get your Bengal. As soon as we know more on that, I will talk more about it. If a Valk is a dropship, why can't I drop a crate of water and food with my troops? It's a good point. I would like there to be cargo space there. I mean, the only way you can get cargo space at the moment is by putting a ship, a Tumbrel Cyclone in there, and that has that one SCU of cargo space. Oh, what's wrong? What happened to your nose? It looks up, dog. What's up, dog? Oh, boom. Fuck you. Think we'll see any Starliners like the Hercules class this year. What? See, what? Do you mean the Crusader ships? So, no, so they're going to be working on the Mercury Star Runner later this year. Don't expect it to be completed this year. And then they're going to start working on the Hercules after they've completed that. That is my understanding. How much attention do you think orgs will receive? In my opinion, for instance, WoW had a guild chat, and that was pretty cut and dry. What's your take on it? I don't know what you mean by how much attention. I think orgs are going to be very important in game. I do think they need to really think about orgs, because at the moment they have unlimited sizes for orgs, and you can see by EVE that's not a good idea. The way they've done it in EVE is allow reasonably high, but maximum size, and then you can actually increase that with skills. But having orgs of just unlimited size is madness, in my opinion. Last question from me today. Do you think they're going to add a way to use the engines to exit atmosphere quicker, like an enhanced boost? I expect that ships with powerful VTOL thrusters and that are good in atmosphere, or that are built to leave the atmosphere quicker for some reason, because it's part of their focus, will be able to leave the atmosphere quicker. Simple as that. Why haven't CIG just hired you? Because I probably wouldn't accept. And because I'm not sure. I think you've got to apply for jobs, don't you? Rather than people headhunting you. I'm not that reliable as a person. I'm pretty erratic when it comes from day to day, doing stuff constantly, uniformly. Although uniform and procedure and that sort of stuff and lists do help me, and I use them a lot. So, do you think we will have any VTOL flyballs in game? Yeah? Do you even read YouTube questions? Yeah, I'm just miles behind. I am about 10 minutes behind, at least. I don't voice the delivery kiosks, but I should. If there's a Greg's veggie sausage roll dropped on the floor at Lawville and no one is there to pick it up, is Piers Morgan still a cock? That's a good question. Yes, but only when full persistence is in. Does the Vulcan work with Intel? Does Vulcan work with it? Yes. Vulcan integration will work with Intel. Do you voice the delivery kiosks? That's that same question again. The ship matrix is a lie. With Squadron 42 to be feature complete by the end of 2019, do you think they get VR support in? No. I think that's something they might consider, putting in at the end of when it's ready. So maybe I don't think we'll see Squadron 42's VR support straight away. I think we'll see it later, after release. I have a Cutlass Black and an Aurora LN game pack. Upgrades from the MR, yes, yes or no. What would you chop the Aurora in for allowing for a marginal spend? What? I don't know what you mean. Upgrade it to an Avengers Titan. Boom, done. I'd get rid of the Aurora and maybe get a ground vehicle. Upgrade it to a ground vehicle. Boom. Or like a Dragonfly or something. Any idea when the mini store boxes are liable to be implemented? They are. So those mini store boxes allow you to carry cargo in the Aurora and the Mustang, for example. They just aren't openable to put an actual mission crate in. Do you think we'll have any non-VTOL flyable in game? Yeah. Non-VTOL flyable. And there's flyable. No, I suspect they'll all have VTOL in some way to be able to take off and land, because it makes sense for the game. I suspect there'll be ones that are more suited to atmospheric flight and more suited to space travel and all that sort of stuff. Can multiple players log in the same bed? They're not supposed to be able to, no. Eventually, you're not going to be able to. You sort of can at the moment, I suppose. Do you think people spending money in Star Citizen should have a starting gameplay advantage over players, and should it be directly proportional with the amount? No, it won't be directly proportional to the amount, because there's lots of stuff that can happen in Star Citizen, and time is the major factor, because you're going to need crew and stuff like that. So people will have an advantage by having more starting ships or money or whatever. I mean, it's the time advantage. Done. It's clear. It's not going to be. It shouldn't be game breaking. It needs to be balanced so that it's not game breaking. It's not what I define as pay to win, but others would define any form of advantage in a game at all that that can be get financially is pay to win. However, I would disagree. And then you can move on to, well, can the game still be good? Well, yes, of course it can, because there's Warframe and stuff like that, which obviously does it. I'm waiting on the update to know exactly how many SCU the Carrick can carry as well. Why do pirate Connies manoeuvre like an arrow, but my Connie manoeuvres like an... What? Sweaty and out of... Oh my god. Because you're shit at flying it. I found that the AI is pretty dumb, and even if your Connie manoeuvres pretty clunkily, you'll still win. Will the Retaliator get revamped? All the ships will get an update and a balance because of the new flight model. I'm also finding it's a bit contradictory having set basically endgame ship prices. Yes, I agree, but also making it hard to grind. Trading, in my opinion, with the demands. What do you think about the demands? I'm not sure what that means. However, I can address the first part of the game. So of the question. So yeah, I think it's a silly idea to have endgame ship prices at this stage, and then balancing it on getting more money from missions. You make the ship prices 3 months worth of getting. Don't you? You make it more sensible. So. I don't know why they did that. I think it's a bit silly. Right, I will be right back. 1 second. 1 second. Oh. Chair, you're in charge.
dodging bullets like
Oh,
fucking
beautiful.
Neo.
Oh, beautiful. So that's Kit's voice and Cameron's voice. Right. Do you think the Freelancer Max will fit into small jump tunnels? Yes, I do. When is the Mustang rework pegged for at the moment? It's already happened. Do you think the Taurus will see a slight shield increase compared to other Connie variants? No. I think it will have the worst stock equipment of any of the Connies, because it's supposed to be the stripped down version. Have they hinted at server size will progress from 50? Speculation, will we see really big servers or meshing first? So in 3.5, they've got some tech there that allows for more connections and more clients. So from 3.5 onwards, so from this March 2019, we could see higher player caps. And I expect anything from 75 to 200 as the next sort of like step. They'll probably test it, 75, test it at 100 in like a PTU, and if that tech actually works properly. And what is it actually called? I always forget. Core tech. So let me show you what I'm looking at. Desktop. We've got the core tech here. We've got lobby refactor, which is sort of like some of the foundational tech for server meshing, which is obviously coming later. And we've got parallel network jobs, and parallel network jobs. This system should allow the game to increase player count per server beyond the limitations of the current tech. So it's super important, and that's for 3.5. So potentially more players on the server. Any word on the Prowler? Yes, there was. Prowler is scheduled for production. That's the last word on the Prowler. I knew I had notes somewhere on that. Bam. Oh, thank you for chucking money at me. Had a great time the other day. Thank you for all you do. Citaro, love your face. Thank you for all your beautiful voice. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Do you think there's a place for a Concorde / Blackbird very high-speed transport recon ship? Yeah, definitely. I'd like to see some proper recon ships, because obviously like the Terrapin's supposed to be sort of like a tougher reconnoitering recon ship, but I want to see a proper, super fast ninja one. Do you think people spending money in Star Citizen should have a... And we've already talked about that. If I melt a non-giftable pledge and then buy it back with cash, can I then gift it? I think so, but I cannot remember now. I think you can, as long as it's entirely paid for in cash. Do you think they'll remove the no-fly zone over Lawville? I think they might handle no-fly zones in different ways with defense, turrets, and security. How did you hear about Star Citizen, and what did you know about Roberts at that point?
Welcome.
Oh, thank you, Citro. I love you. Thank you. Thanks for the sub. Citro has the most beautiful voice, if you ever heard it. He's very, very softly spoken. It's a dream. It's a dream to listen to, like a ocean in the morning. I'm not a romanticist, romancer, lover. I'm a fighter, not. So with Roberts games, my brothers used to play Led Wing Commander when I was young, so I played some Ring Commander and like June 2 and stuff. That's the sort of lots of games I played when I was younger, and then Red Alert, Command & Conquer stuff. I got into Star Citizen in 2013 at the end of it, when some of my mates were playing, or were getting into it. Stand-up comedy on a nice jump, a good profession. We can call it haha Citizen. I hate you. Oh my god, why these terrible jokes? Do we know anything about the Misk Endeavour? They haven't said anything about it beyond what we know from the concept art, really. I suspect it's going to be one of the last ships to be done. The science mechanics are quite complex.
Hi Bored, love the state of the game so far and the direction it goes. When do you expect the currently most annoying bugs to be gone? Quantum travel markers, cockpit, open close. Oh my god. Yes, so some of them in 3.4.2. And I expect that we have a 3.4.2 either at the end of this week or the end of next week. The Freelancer series currently doesn't have any storage space for personal items or weapons. Do you think we can fit one in somehow? I think they will allow that in some way. They've talked about physicalized infantries coming in 3.6, so some ships are going to need the ability for you to store equipment in. Even the smaller ones are going to need like a rack or a little cubby hole, something. Thanks for what you do and the dedication to Star Citizen. What are your thoughts on the ship matrix? It's really useful if it was fully updated. It needs to be updated more. It was supposed to be updated a lot more. It's not. It's one of the reasons I want to have my own wiki, so I can actually have the most up-to-date ship stuff there. Have they talked about interior turrets on larger ships? What is your opinion on it? They have shown off a demo when they were showing off the room system and explosive decompressions and how rooms normalise. They showed off some internal security turrets there. And we know that they can have automated turrets. So yeah, I suspect we will see internal turrets or interior turrets as part of security systems. And mounted turrets as well. And one of the things that they've got on the Squadron 42 roadmap is interaction with like mounted weapons and things. Do you think the Carrick will at least keep 900 SU of cargo? I don't think the Carrick's going to come in 3.5 or 3.6. I think 3.7 at the earliest, and I still think that's pushing it. However, I don't know what SU cargo size it's going to have at all. Like, I suspect that... I'm expecting it will be similar to the Polaris, though. Do you think we'll see the Kraken in-game before the Idris? That is an interesting question. No, I think we'll see the Idris P first. Have you enough referral codes to get the Javelin? Yes, I was the first person to get the Javelin, in fact, from the referrals. And then after I got that, I just chucked my referral codes to Patreons. I just chucking it on them at the moment, and like friends and stuff. Got my own little randomizer. What specs would you recommend to run this game smoothly? Your specs for this game. So I've got a 1080 Ti, an A700K, i7, and I've got 64 gigs of RAM. However, you only need 16, and an SSD. And that's so you don't really need anything beyond like a 4th gen i7 to run the game well. I'm not entirely sure how it performs on AMD components, especially processors. And then graphics card wise, you're fine with the 1060, but I'd recommend 1070 because they're the best bang for buck and they're great. It allows you to run the game at 1440p. Object container streaming is awesome, and the game's just getting better and better optimization wise. So. Do you think CIG should sell armor or weapon skins or flair on some occasional events like Veterans Day or and that sort of stuff? Yes, I do. I think that would be a great way of funding the game. I actually think once they've got, well, I think they should do that anyway as a general thing. Sell high detailed skins, get a couple of people in to do them, and make cool skins for weapons and ships. Like I have a dragon and some cool stuff wrapped around a Hornet. Very bespoke, very intricate skins. And then sell them for $5. Fuck loads of people will buy them. You don't even have to have those available in-game, as long as people can sell them and trade them between each other in-game. You don't actually have to have them buyable in-game. Well, you can, just have them at an exorbitant amount of UEC or something. He'll be back in 3 years. See you later, buddy. Apollo squeeze into Polaris? No. No. Small fighter in the Polaris. Oh, Robert Johnston, I didn't see that. Oh my god, I love you. Donation, even though you ignored my email again. What have I not... Oh, I love you. No, Robert Johnston, you sent me too much money to be ignored. I love you. Mwah. Send me the email again. I'm sorry if I ignored it. I didn't mean to. What did I ignore? Email me again now. I'll make sure I answer it after Stram. You can get me at rich@boredgamer.co.uk. Get directly through to me. I love your face. Docs my own email. The 325 rework due in 2.5? Oh no, 3.5. So the 300 series, all of them. So the 300i, 315p, 325a, and 350r, all getting reworked for 3.5 end of March. Keep up the great work, Bored. I love you. Thank you. Appreciate it. I appreciate all the love. Thank you. Thank you. Genuinely appreciated. Do you think difference in time to kill between medium and large ships is too high? Medium ships too weak, in my opinion. Yes, it's far too low. The general time to kill is far too low, in my opinion, for medium and large ships. And they need to be a little more similar. But we're going to have times to disable soon. Ships aren't just going to explode. You're going to be disabling particular components and things like that on them. So no health pools for actual just ships. And all items, once they're physicalized, will all have their own health. So. Knowing the large patches come in 3.x, do you expect the bigger fixes in 3.4 before 3.5? We're going to get a 3.4.2 patch almost certainly, and I expect they will fix the more troubling small problems that they can iron out now. I love you, Robert Johnson. I'm sorry. I just saw the message again. I'm sorry. Chris Roberts and CIG always say that you can do whatever profession you like in Star Citizen, but once you start one, you'll be bound to it, or can you jump across professions as you please? Yeah, you can jump across professions as you please. You might be earning reputation from certain mission givers and certain types of missions, though, so bear that in mind. So you're more likely to get better missions or more missions from something that you have reputation in. Do you think they will change the behaviour of ship claiming soon? Like resetting or weapon changes after a claim? Yeah, I think we'll have more insurance options, so we can insure like full loadouts. I expect that we might get some of that in 3.5, which is one of the reasons they're going to have that new customization of ships before we buy them. But yeah, obviously that does need to be worked on. Notice my cache was reset in 3.4. Will anything I buy, like skins and weapons, disappear as well? Anything you buy with Alpha UEC, so the money you earn in-game currently from playing it, the things you buy with that and the actual balance of your Alpha UEC will be reset every major patch, at least. Are you concerned about how... Oh no, I was concerned, but then it jumped. Oh, are you concerned? Sorry, that's how it's spelled. About how the life as a trader will be with the extreme amounts of combat-orientated ships introduced and the trade role ships becoming outdated compared to new combat ships. No, I mean, everything needs to be balanced and you can have escorts. If combat ships get bonuses and stuff, you need escorts because they're combat ships. Would you consider doing live ship tours for more rare ships we don't all have? Yeah. I most certainly will at some point. We'll also do YouTube videos of them as well. YouTube is my sort of like main platform to run around on. However, I am planning to do more streaming regularly beyond just chatting about Star Citizen. I like these though because these are relatively low effort from me. That's just me chatting to my community and audience and people that want to turn up. It allows me to connect with people. It allows me to socialize a little bit. It allows me something that's not as mentally taxing. And it allows me to work out what content what I'm going to do. The questions I get here are like, some of them I FAQ effectively. I go, well, these are frequently asked. These are things that people keep on wanting to know about. Oh, someone's had a great idea for content. This sort of stuff's really useful for me. So, do comments and questions here count towards your raffles on YouTube? No, not during the live stream. However, the live stream video will. So if you comment on the video, yes. These comments don't, because I can't pull these from the system. So the way I do the raffles is that I grab all the data of everyone that commented, their names effectively, and then
It doesn't matter how many times you commented on a single video, it will count your name once from that video, but it will count once each per video, and then it randomly draws a name. Well, it doesn't actually do that. It randomly draws a video and then randomly draws a name from that video. It's actually how it works. But and it's all Excel numbered. It's very similar to the way Noobify does his, because he showed me what he's doing. I was like, oh, that's a good idea. I'll use that as well then. I think mine's a bit different and a bit more derped than his, but what do you think about complex water physics, zero-G fluid dynamics, underwater Subnautica style gameplay, some watery planets out there? I mean, the underwater gameplay is so detached from what I can think about now at the Star Citizen. I want swimming. I think underwater exploration will be great, but I don't need it for the game, and I don't want them to work too much on it. If it's going to slow down anything else, great if it's there. I mean, they're still working on exactly what sort of interaction we'll have with water and buoyancy of ships and things. So I don't really know about water. Yeah, in the future, definitely it'd be cool to have some cool underwater stuff. I mean, it's not going to be as intricate as Subnautica, who has great underwater mechanics, because the game is entirely underwater. Well, mostly underwater. Can we now or in the future buy Battlefield upgrade kits, bucks, for the Vanguard series? I think they got rid of them. But you'll be able to buy the individual parts of them in-game, I believe. I know you mentioned you were straining your eyes and needed glasses for that, but you should also take a look at computer program Flux for that if you haven't already. Is that the one that changes the colour of your monitor? I'll have a look at Flux again. Yeah, I don't need an actual prescription for glasses, but when I went for my eye test the other day, they basically said you could benefit from some computer glasses. They'll make you feel less tired, basically. And I was like, great. And I help your concentration, as far as I understood it. Jumsumville, when do you think we'll see physical cargo transfer, large cargo, and how will it work for more engaging cargo gameplay, but also proper pirating? So yeah, so physical cargo transfer is definitely going to be available when they have Cargo 2.0. Well, I believe that's part of Cargo 2.0 is what I should say. That will allow you to move cargo crates and push and pull stuff as well, which pushing and pulling of items is in the Squadron 42 roadmap towards the end of the year, I believe. And the idea here is that, yeah, when you pirate a ship, you can still cargo move it around and that sort of stuff, actually directly out of that cargo bay. We don't know physical cargo transfers, how that's going to be handled in-game, because they're still working out. They're still working out, do they want it to take a certain amount of time? Do they want it to be done behind the scenes? Do they want you to be able to pay NPC crews to be able to move your cargo in and out? Can you do it all by hand yourself? Stuff like that. And they're working that stuff out. Expect them to get ship to station docking done first, and then the more advanced cargo systems, so that we have lots of different sizes of cargo container. Obviously the larger ones are going to be preferred by CIG where possible, because that means less entities for them to have to render and track, which is great for them. At the moment the cargo system is not appropriate for large scale cargo transport, especially lots of small containers. But when do you think we'll get the first look at salvage mechanics in 3.5, which it's currently scheduled for? Salvage version 1. What are the cool things to check about? What are some cool things to check out in the PTU besides Lawful and Jumptown? There is a Javelin wreck, there's a butt ton of missions, there's general biomes on Hurston, a load of random things, all the different landing zones. It's got Grimhex, obviously Paul Olisar where you originally spawned, but Levski, obviously Lawville and Hurston, the underground facilities, some of the sort of like space stations that are more bespoke, like the Gundo Kovalex hub and Security Post Korea.
Cool. I've got your message. I've got your message. I don't know if it's from you. And what am I supposed to be doing? Yeah. Okay. Okay. No worries. Robert is not my real name. Okay. No worries, dude. I will address that after the stram. Did we talk about flight model revisions yet? I enjoyed AC 2.x quite a bit. Yes, 2.6.3 was solid. We need to see what exactly is given to us in 3.5. It is the new flight model. They've said that it's going to be, I believe, simpler. It's going to be implemented and worked on and developed by the same team, which is great, assuming that less problems with stuff not working as intended. It's going to be more of a modern / World War II style fighter system, so driven from the rear. You have to think about where you're manoeuvring to, stuff like that. You're trying to stay on the tails of people in dogfights. You're going to have lots of control over your acceleration. Literally going to have acceleration control and velocity control, so we don't need precision mode, we don't need landing modes, we don't need cruise modes. They are all part of the same system, and you can literally just go as fast as you want, but the faster you go, the less control you have, basically. So there's lots of cool stuff there, but we have to see what it's like when it's in our hands. Do you think Squadron 42 will launch with Vulcan support? Yes, I do. Are they going to adjust the player's hands or MFD placements on ships like the Freelancer? Yes, they are. They talked about that actually relatively recently. They can use the IK system and some other stuff, and there are some other clever ways of doing it, but they do reuse a load of assets for that. Why has the 890 jump got so big? Because it's the ultimate party yachts. What do you think about the new X4 Space Sim? I haven't actually played it yet. I've got it, but I haven't played it, so I will try it out at some point. Do you think Brexiteers would fly Drake over other brands? It's the only brand of ship we're able to afford. So yes. Oh, Brexiteers and Remainers. Do you know if they are planning for ships to be able to quantum jump with smaller ships docked with them? Yes, I believe that's going to be a thing. So the Kraken, for example, on the pads, you can quantum jump, it forms a bubble around it, and goes off. Do you really think they'll squeeze in Crusader this year? So potentially, it depends if the cloud tech is finished, which I suspect the cloud tech will almost certainly be finished for the gas giants, and then can they get Horizon done in time? And it only has to be the first iteration of Horizon, and they can open up they can open up more areas to that later. Do you think the merchantman will still be able to do blockade running? For its size, yeah, probably. I mean, it's going to have big guns on it, so it'll be able to shoot things as it goes by, and it'll be able to take a big pounding, so I suspect so. Do you think the Carrick is the best all-round ship to cover as many roles as possible? Well, I think it is Corvette size. Do you say sub-Corvette size? Anything above 115 or more is Corvette size to me. The reason I say that is because Polaris and Hammerhead, I think they're still Corvettes. But for that sort of size of ship, yeah, I think the Carrick is one of the best all-round ships in the game. Basically a small capital ship that allows you to do a bit of everything. Obviously it's focused on exploration though. Any more info released on jump points? Not at the moment, but I am expecting we'll get a load more info this year, probably at Citizencon. How do you like holding F to work MFDs? Wish they changed that to a toggle. Yes. Makes simple, doesn't it? Hold it for a second, then it toggles it on. Boom. Love from Level Cap. What will the solutions be to streamer YouTube dilemmas involving stream sniping, trolling, and spying? Love from Level Cap. I love Level. I'm a massive fan of Level Cap. And I chatted to him a couple of times, and he's really, really approachable and pretty chill. And he's helped me with some stuff previously. So thank you very much, Level Cap, for that. You are a legend amongst peoples, and not up yourself, which is awesome. Stream sniping, trolling, and spying is going to happen. It's part of. I mean, look at Eve. It's just going to happen. If you're worried about stream sniping live, then either prepare content and have knowing that you're going to have stream sniping happening. Great, stream sniping is happening. It's part of the content. Trolling might happen, and spying, yeah, it's going to happen. Whatever. So it's just a brute fact. There are things that you can do. If you don't like people, you can mute them and block them. You can get escorts to come and help you. You can delay your stream by a longer period of time, whatever. Use an account with a different name. When do you think we can expect a roadmap update? Potentially at the end of this week. Any updates on fuel refining gameplay? Not the actual refining process of it, but we are getting some fuel mechanics in 3.6. So, have you compared the F1 with RTX, so ray tracing, to Star Citizen's lighting? To me, Star Citizen will not need any ray tracing with what they currently have. It will not improve anything. That's potentially true. And in fact, basically that's what Brian Chambers said, I think, when he was talking about it. He went, we'll adopt stuff like that if it's sensible and reasonable to adopt and doesn't delay the project too much. But if we don't need it, then we don't need it. And at the moment, they think they don't need it. Are your thoughts on scanning 2.0 coming soon? So scanning, we're going to get more and more updates to the scanning, to the HUDs, to UIs, to radars, to all of that, to the data that's exposed from that, from patch to patch from now on. You can see in the Squadron 42 roadmap that a load of that stuff is listed for every quarter, and literally updates to the scanning system repeatedly, adding more and more. You don't actually need to delete your user folder, you just need to delete your shaders folder in your user folder when you do an update. Every time you update Star Citizen, I recommend people deleting their shaders folder in their user folder. The reason you don't want to delete your user folder is because you don't want to delete all the your key bindings and stuff. If you don't have any, then fucking delete the whole folder, why not? And if you're still having problems that people say delete your user folder for, then delete your whole user folder. But typically, just deleting your shaders folder works. After salvage mechanics, which professions will they start on? Medical, data running, science? Or will exploration be the last thing they do? I think science will be the last thing they do. However, exploration will probably is tied to science in some ways, but I do expect we'll get a lot of exploration before that. The thing is that a lot of these mechanics evolve over time. So the first iterations of them are not going to be anything, or at least they're going to be very minimal compared to the final iterations of them. So yeah, kind of all of those are going to get a V1 before any of them are finished. Do you see what I mean? So we're going to have refueling, repair next after salvage, and then probably data running because it's probably pretty easy. Medical, at the same time, pretty important. I do science and exploration. Science probably coming last. Exploration and land claim stuff. There's lots of stuff. There's lots of stuff. They can work on a load of it simultaneously as well. Will we ever get holodecks on bigger ships like the Carrick and 890 Jump? I don't think so. You might get hollow maps, hollow rooms like that for plotting, like attack here and commanding fleets and stuff. Right. Any other questions? Because if there's no other questions, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go eat, finish writing a script, answer Robert Johnston, and then have a little nap probably, pretend I'm napping. I can write some stuff. I'm just going to lie in bed, just go and write some stuff about object container streaming and server meshing and stuff. I'm going to get all these Star Citizen short stuff. I want to get a Star Citizen shorts video out tonight, and so I can get some feedback on it, and then tweak the rest of them I do. When I die, I lose the weapon I had pulled out, not the weapons that are simply equipped to my person. Is this a bug? Because I'm not losing weapons very fast this way. Okay, so at the moment, you sort of like can put guns on and take them off you at will. You've got like a magic inventory, a magic pack of holding. And you're going to have physicalized inventories. I think the plan is to have them in 3.6, which would mean you lose anything that's on you when you die. However, that might not necessarily be true. What will actually be is that you can't have your magic bags of holding. So anything that if you've got like a weapon or item or whatever, you have to have it stored somewhere, and you've only got on you which physically is on you. And that stuff might be insured. It might spawn with you as your default loadout when you die. I don't know. But I do know we're getting physicalized inventories planned for 3.6, so that's end of June. Can we be friends? Yes, of course. Go on the Discord, discord.gg/BoredGamer. You're more than welcome to participate when I play during the weeks. Do you think they will release what modules will be for the Carrick when it comes flyable? I'm not sure what modularity we're going to have with the Carrick, to be honest.
In-game shadows are totally black, no detail. What? That's not true, is it? Some of them probably are. But I've seen relatively detailed shadows. I'm getting this problem since a few weeks ago. I've hired an NPC and I've tried everything. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what that is. Totally black. Sorry, going back to scanning, you think it will be possible to find other players anywhere within a system? Right now, if you are not on a point of interest, no one will find you. Yes, there's going to be long-range scanning. They've talked about this. It's going to be based on their signature, though. So if you're scanning and you're doing like a really wide way, a ping or something like a very directed ping, you might be able to detect that something is over that direction that is producing IR, and it's currently producing this much IR or whatever, or you detect that there's a blob of IR somewhere in this 5 kilometre square or whatever. And it could be quite a far way out. And I suppose you might be able to quantum travel to those locations in the future. Don't know if they're going to be doing that, but I suspect they will. I suspect that's one of the ways that exploration is going to work. You're going to do like these pings, boom, and it's going to say something is over here. You go, well, I'm going to quantum travel to over here. You produce a great show. I mean, the production costs of this show are minimal at best. But thank you very much. Appreciate it. I like talking. I think that's one of the things I want to do regularly, is just chat about the game. Get a bit more community involvement and that sort of jazz. Will procedurally generated planets... With procedurally generated planets, will we be able to take NPCs out to colonize newly discovered planets? You might have missions to do that, I suppose, to transport colonists to a planet. There might be story events where that happens. There might be mission chains where that happens. They might sort of like, CIG might have sort of like a games mastery every few months. Oh, this planet's new and it's being colonized now, and they add a little colony that becomes bigger and bigger over months or whatever. Potentially, yeah, that's something that could happen. Any idea what Reliant Mako news van mechanic might be and start out like? No, I don't. Like, this is one of the things that I'm very interested in, because they could have it that they've got render to texture tech in game, so they could have stuff externally or internally to game being streamed elsewhere in game to screens and to Mobi glasses and stuff like that. So yeah, you could have people that are able to earn money in game based on the amount of views that their broadcast or stream's getting in game. But I don't know how that will work. Will it be mounted cameras in game, or will it just be you have missions to cover events and stuff, and you just have to make sure that you're close enough to certain things, or maybe you get paid based on how much of the action you've caught, or something like that. I don't know. There's loads of ways they could do it, but I don't know how they're going to do it. Can you add to the list of videos one on how to make suggestions to CIG? Yes, I bloody well can. That's a list of people I need to contact. How to make suggestions to SIG. How to report bugs slash cool slash issue cancel and spectrum threads. No worries. I'm extremely tired, Trans117. I had 2 hours sleep today, and that 2 hours was when I had gone, right, well, I'm not going to be sleeping, so I'll have a coffee and get up. Have a coffee and just immediately pass out. Maybe I need caffeine to pass out. I just got on, but I only have one question I need answer to. After a few tries at delivering, I'm not really feeling like trying to do it with boxes. Whoosing? What? You having problems with cargo missions? Is that what you're saying? I haven't actually had many problems with cargo missions since Christmas, so... I got green light to start recruiting pilots for Republic of Laurel Navy. Can you help me out by shouting out, join Laurel now?
or something along those lines. Something along those lines! Question mark. Feel free to send me a link to your org. I already know about your org though, but send it to me again to remind me. I'll make sure I talk to org leaders and stuff. There's a big list of org leaders that I was supposed to contact last week and this week, but stuff happened. When will group missions become a thing or make it easier to share loot? They're putting that in as soon as they can. They're literally working on it at the moment. We could start to see more of that in 3.5. I'm expecting there to be a group mission system that allows groups to take missions together and share loot more easily in 3.6. That's what I'm expecting. Any idea when IC will be fixed? Can't vote. Oh, the issue council. Fuck. I haven't... Okay, I will check that out again in a minute. Someone did say that to me the other week, and I was like, I haven't reported any bugs in the last 3 weeks. I'm a monster. Will they add a north-south equator digital element marker to our ships for HUD? Should have digital elements on a hotkey off and on. They're going to expose more and more data and more HUD information, yes, and I suspect we'll be able to turn on and off and filter what we want. People that say there's a picture of Carrick carrying 2 rovers, is that true? Can we have 2 vehicles in the garage? Carrick. I suspect it could probably fit 2 small vehicles, maybe. We won't know until it's in our hands. I'm sure people have worked out the current size and worked out they can get 2 vehicles in there, though. CES looks promising for AMD. Do you think it's a good idea to wait on a new build to see if AMD CPUs or GPUs live up to the hype? Yes, 100%. I mean, it depends on, do you need your computer for anything else now, and that sort of stuff. If you get some sleep, I have the same issue. I went to bed at 5 AM today. I'm the CST time zone. I'm sorry, dude. It's annoying, isn't it? It's not like life breaking, but it's annoying. Yeah, take care, Han Solo, mate. My ability to read is diminished. Should CIG make a flat Earth planet for flat Earthers? Wow. When we get server meshing, will we get multiple servers in the UK or just in Europe? Clearly, a big UK server will be better for lag when the game goes live and hundreds of thousands or whatever are online. I don't know how they're going to do it. They're going to want to try and get everyone into the same shard if possible. However, they may divide it like they already have with USA, Europe, and Asia, basically all being separate. Hopefully they don't. Hopefully they'll find a way of bringing it all together. When will we get server meshing? Sorry, just read. Do you fear actual feature creep after a soft launch of the PU, opposed to having lots of stuff on day one? I'm hoping that there's a reasonable amount to do, even if they never added anything else to the game after the soft launch of the Persistent Universe. However, I want them to constantly be adding more and more and more. Do weapon skins and weapons bought in-game follow over when major patches reset the in-game cache? No. Anything bought in-game with Alpha UEC gets reset at the moment. With Salvage coming in 3.5, can we expect any work on the Reclaimer to make the ARM work? Oh, I don't know what functionality the Reclaimer is going to have for salvaging in 3.5. I believe it should have some functionality, and I believe that functionality will be similar to the Prospector mining, but with Salvage. I have this game, but I have no clue how to play. Join the club. On my YouTube channel, there's literally a starter guideru. Let me shamelessly plug Star Citizen 3.x guide. Bam. Here you go, buddy. Here you go. 22-minute video describing pretty much fucking everything you need to do and understand about the game and how to do it all. I should help. How do you imagine emergency landings working with no runways? Can't land if VTOL thrusters get damaged. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Give it a good go. You'll be fine. I think it's going to be slightly messy, though. I mean, so some ships will need repairing. For example, if they're too badly damaged to be able to land safely, you'll have to get a crucible to come repair them. And if the ship's too damaged and you can't repair it for some reason, then you'll have to scrap it. I've done cargo, bounty, Eckhart, Klaus, Clovis, and Constantine missions, but is there mining missions somewhere? Yeah, with Recco Battaglia? I think Recco gives you mining missions. Doesn't she? Does she? Or at least she will give you mining missions eventually. Do you know if there are concept photos or information for the floating city on Crusader? Yes, there are. Let me link you. It's really annoying because the wikis don't have all the pictures in. They've got like them split. Oh, Star Citizen Tools, you legend. Let me link what I've got. Okay, so this wiki did have what I wanted. Desktop. So this is StarCitizen.tools, great little wiki. It's got some good information, but it's also got some pictures on the concepts, and I think probably some of the white box for Urizen, the cloud city there. This is some of the pretty cool ones. Very shipyardy. Boom. Think they'll make a tugboat. Yeah, I mean the Crucible was supposed to be a tugboat when it was in development, and then they went, let's just make it a repair ship. So I still suspect we'll get a tugboat, and I think we'll get a ground vehicle tug as well. A tow car. I haven't played any D&D 5th edition. I don't know what the word. 1 second. D&D cantrip. Friends. Is it friends? Is it friends? What improvements are coming to player hangars? Persistence for them at some point. So we'll be able to actually have our own hangars, and we'll be able to have our ships in them, and people will be able to come to them. They'll be physicalized at some point as well. I'm not sure what in the forms of customization we'll be able to do with hangars, whether we'll be able to add more and more modules to them, like extra rooms and stuff, but I think that was the original plan. Do we have an estimated number of systems we'll be getting? I believe there are 120 that they've written out on paper, and that are sort of like in law, or they've got plans for. Don't know how many we're going to be getting when the game goes to beta, but I would expect between 1 and 10 for a beta, probably more like 1 and 5, 3 and 5, probably more like 5, and then for like a full release of game, probably 30 to 40, and then they'll add more and more. Will Tier 0 salvage be available on player-destroyed ships, or just on specific wrecks? I don't know. I'm hoping it's for player-destroyed ships as well. That would make sense. Would like to have your opinion here. I rather am the good guy in Star Citizen, but once I camped Jumptown with a railgun and blew up drug dealer ships, it was quite fun. Am I a villain or a hero? I think you're just a dude messing around in Star Citizen, I think. Like, if you killed the wrong person at the wrong time, they're going to call you a griefer, even though they're selling drugs. But you're a vigilante. Oh, shit. Star Citizen, Star Wars, or Star Trek, which is the best universe? I would have said Star Trek up until some of the shit that Star Trek's currently made. I love Star Citizen so far, and I feel like I'm part of that universe. I'm not a fan of Star Wars. Well, I mean, I'll watch Star Wars. I can appreciate it. It's a beautiful space opera, but eh. Do you think we will get a ground medical rover with medical gameplay updates? Yes. Well, I think we'll get one at some point. Hi, Bored. Do you know if there'll be any more shipwrecks like the Javelin? Almost certainly. All ships have been built to have wrecks before they are live or whatever. So I suspect we'll see Javelin ones and that sort of stuff. Probably Bengal ones and things in the game in the not too distant future. And big Vandal ones as well. How much do you think being able to control things like wing sweep will affect the flight model? Do you expect lowering the gear, for example, will actually add drag or just be cosmetic? I think it might actually add drag now, even though it's just artificial as a number. How badly would you like to fly around restocking Benny's needle machines? Oh my god. I mean, it'd be a great thing to do, like, I could do that while chatting. I'm worried more systems will turn the verse into a ghost town. Your thoughts? Okay, so at the moment they would. So we only had 50 players per server, and there was lots of systems. That'd be terrible that would make it into a ghost town. Unless it was massively populated with NPCs and loads of procedural content that was literally really engaging. In which case I suspect lots of people would really enjoy it. But they need submeshing, they need more players on servers. They need, I mean, if they can get it so you can move between servers seamlessly, that server meshing, then that's great. Then we don't have to worry about what server we log onto. Oh, that'd be awesome. Mate, I do LARP. Done a load of pen and paper roleplay, just haven't done any D&D 5th edition. I play board games regularly, mate. With a minigame where you insert noodles one by one. No, that's not what we want. Right, I'm going. I'm fucking off. I love you. Love you all. Especially people that sent me money. Robert Johnston, I will reply to your email in a minute. Everyone that's interested in being helping me mod stuff on the channel, or a wiki, and that sort of stuff, please message me on discord.gg/BoredGamer. Actually contact me, PM me. What other discoveries like Benny Henge would you like to see? Loads of stuff. I want to see lots and lots and lots of those cool narrative, storytelling, gameplay areas. So things that Fallout does very well, and even Fallout 76, the little areas you find everywhere are amazing. Like, there's little stories going on everywhere. If you look at where the props are all placed, there's really cool shit that's happened. You can actually work out this guy died by firing a harpoon at this guy. On the, oh my god, there were zombies, and there was a zombie pinned to a wall by a harpoon, and there's guys dead around there, and the storytelling with the gameplay area and stuff is just insane with Fallout. And I do hope that they get something similar done with Star Citizen that's beyond just, well, this is a special secret Easter egg area, and this is a special Easter egg area. They need to have loads of those everywhere. What can we do to prevent Star Citizen encounters being like PUBG during the alpha? I mean, reputation and lore system, lots of different areas, those will help. So the lore system will prevent people from just murdering each other, hopefully. Having lots more systems, some of them safer than others. Having proper policing, security and stuff like that will help. Get some sleep, bully. Yes, I fucking will. Right, let's see who else is streaming. Twitch, BoredGamer. See if G's come back on. She was streaming some Star Citizen earlier, which is why I jumped. Oh, he's not. It's gone again. Classic G. Who else is around? Do we have any new citizens? Who's this guy? Who's this guy? Oh, he's got music. He's got too much music going on. Someone that has a face. Wrong language. Lots of German and French streamers around, eh? Oh. This dude's doing an AMA as well. Let's see if he's knowledgeable. Right. I am dropping you on the Dark Lore. He looks beautiful. He looks like me when I'm getting older. It's going to be perfect. Right. Love you guys. You take care. I'm going to drop you with this gentleman. Bam. Bam. And I'll see you soon. Peace out. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you for the donations and the love. And any feedback's appreciated. Any ideas for Star Citizen short things that you think people need to know that are FAQ'd, like regularly, like please do a quick video on server meshing. Please do a quick video on this or this or this or that. That would be appreciated. Boom.